Welcome to a Tuesday night edition of Across College Football, joined by our resident Gators expert, Gator Dave Waters, kind enough to join us from Gators Breakdown. We got a lot of ground to cover in the state of Florida. Now, Gator Dave, all the news about Billy Napier. It was an odd game for the Gators last Saturday. They looked solid for a bit. They used a good defense to stay ahead of Mississippi State, and then it really devolved into a game that the Bulldogs really probably should have won. A late interception to ice the Florida's 23-21 win was nice, but it felt like the writing was already on the wall, Gator Dave. At that point, it was Billy Napier's last swan song in Gainesville. They head into the bye week with uncertainty. They got an interim coach. Why did things turn out so poorly for Napier in Gainesville, the Gator?
With the 23-21 win against Mississippi State, it was the perfect encapsulation of the Billy Napier era. I mean, Florida did win the game, but helter-skelter, not a lot of consistency on the offense, deciding to run on third and long, deciding to pass on third and short. It was just an example of a Billy Napier-led Gator team. So Florida ends up losing, but as you said, Justin, the writing was kind of on the wall. He was taking pictures and talking to his family after the game. On the field, he doesn't do that a lot. He got choked up in the press conference, so you could certainly feel, even with that 23-21 win, with the bye week coming up, it was perfect timing for Florida to make the move, get your ducks in a row. You have 2 weeks to prepare for Georgia, so that was why the timing of it. Yeah, coming off of a win might seem weird, but Florida wanted to get their ducks in a row during a bye week.
What was Billy's undoing? I mean, much has been made about DJ Lagway's stalled development. He did not go to an offensive coordinator in a year. That was really a make-or-break season for him, and a lot of people thought that was Billy's undoing. What was your take on that?
Yeah, that was the undoing. It was the refusal to hire an offensive coordinator. And look, that's what got him to Florida. I have no qualms with a coach if they want to do it their way to begin with, but when it's obvious that it's not working, don't be afraid to adapt. Don't be too slow to adapt. And that's ultimately what even Scott Strickland, the athletic director, said in the press conference on Monday, that, hey, this was ultimately why we're here right now, is because we had plenty of conversations about that. Billy Napier handing over the play calling duties, he refused to do so. It's kind of why we're here right now. So that was the major factor of why Billy Napier is no longer the head coach at Florida.
Yeah, and we've already seen the speculation on who could be next, who could follow Billy Napier. And the kind of the pie in the sky right now is Lane Kiffin. Everybody's talking about Lane Kiffin. Is that realistic to expect a Lane Kiffin to end up in Florida?
I think it's realistic. He's certainly going to be the top target. Florida, the administration, the big boosters who are going to be behind this are going to make Lane Kiffin tell them no. So I think he's intrigued. Does he win enough at Ole Miss to make him want to not leave that great situation? I mean, don't get me wrong, Florida is a pressure cooker. He can go and win 9 games at Ole Miss, and they'll be happy for a very long time. 9 games at Florida, you'll be happy for a little while until you start expecting more. So, but it has been a job that has intrigued him in the past. He's mentioned recently that Steve Spurrier's an idol of his. Does he want to be in that position?
Yeah. And speaking of coaching hot seats, there's a very, very warm one out in Tallahassee. Mike Norvell and the Seminoles dropped a 2013 game to Stanford, their 4th straight loss. And the pressure cooker with Napier already gone at Florida. I could see something not happening this season, Dave, but I think something happens maybe towards the end of the season. Crazy time in college football. The Georgia Bulldogs, they're off this week. We'll see them in Jacksonville when they come to clash with Billy Gonzalez, the interim head coach, just next 1 week from Saturday here in town in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. And, of course, the Miami Hurricanes host Stanford on Saturday, looking to put last week's loss to Louisville in the rearview. Wild times in the state of college football here in Florida, for sure. Gator Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That'll do it for sports. That's your look across college football.